In this video, I'll show you how to connect an external display to your iPad Pro using a USB hub, USB-C hub with HDMI out. This is a USB-C hub, so I can plug in the USB hub to the iPad. I can plug in the USB hub to the iPad and it's powered on now. And I could even charge the iPad. This one has power delivery. It's one of the Ugreen Revodoc USB hub. You can use a USB hub like this to plug in USB devices or charge the iPad, or have also an external hard disk, but you can also use the HDMI port. Here I have an HDMI cable from the monitor here in front of me. HDMI hub. It has USB-C 2 ports, high speed, and USB Type A, the old style, 2 ports, power delivery, nothing on this side, and then the HDMI out. So I will plug in the HDMI cable into the USB hub, USB-C hub. Now this is plugged into the screen. The computer screen has its own power supply, so the iPad will not power the whole computer screen. And I will not plug in a power delivery now, but you could if you wanted to. So what happens when you plug in the iPad, you get the external display options. So I plugged it in. And now you see the display on the iPad as I move it. That's the screen. As I move it, you see it. It doesn't look very well adjusted because it's not exactly the same aspect ratio, so it's kind of in the middle there. Once I plug in the external display, this is through a wire, it's not a wireless display option. So I open the settings and I can look for settings for this external monitor, and I have display and brightness here. And then you also have the options for displays here. These are options for displays, and I can have screen mirroring or extended display, and I have information about each display. I could set the brightness for each one. So this is the built-in display of the iPad, and I could change the display zoom, or so I could choose a reference mode. So for reference mode, this is reference mode is for critical. Reference mode uses for color critical workflows in controlled viewing environments. I wouldn't really go that far with it, reference mode, but let's try. Now it's dim, so yeah, it has to be in a controlled environment. Not gonna use that. And display zoom, I could zoom to have more space, larger text. Yeah, I wouldn't change any of that. But I could also change settings for the second display. I could also change the settings for the second display, and this is a SDR display. It's not something amazing. I don't know. The allow display mode changes. I could enable this option or leave it off. I will leave it off there. And what's important is the arrangement. So if you want to see how to arrange the arrangement for the monitor and the iPad, this is a really good option, because I can turn off the mirroring and I can choose to move. I can choose to move, for example, the iPad. I could move it to the right here. So I would have the iPad on the right and the monitor on the left, or the other way around. And here actually I will leave it like this, because the iPad is in front of me below and the monitor is above. So I prefer to have it this way. And now once I set this, now it's set to extended, but I can always go back to screen mirroring. So when I say to extended, I change it between extended and mirroring, and you'll see what happens. And I have the option, the iPad is in front of me. I could open DaVinci Resolve and move it. I could try to move it to the, okay. Okay, I changed the arrangement, so that screen is on the right of the iPad. It's easier for me like this. And now I can move Now I can move DaVinci Resolve on the right side. It's a bit confusing there, but you see how it starts to show up in the corner right there. It's not easy to use this, but yeah. If you use a mouse and keyboard, it's going to be much easier to use the second monitor as an extended display. But for now, screen mirroring is easier. I can use like this. Okay, it didn't load the project. So now I can see DaVinci Resolve. I can see DaVinci Resolve on the screen, then the whole iPad. As long as the USB hub is plugged in and the HDMI cable is also plugged in, I have these options and I can set the display to extended and mirroring, and also the arrangement here, it's up to you how you want it, but that's how you change the display. And you see some flicker there, that's maybe some not such a great thing, but the display there is full HD 60 frames per second. The iPad is also, there are different resolutions. The display there is full HD 60 frames per second, and the iPad has its own Retina display, but you can really add more monitors like that. You can even use wireless displays. I didn't really use a wireless display with the iPad, but that would be an interesting option. And I want to show you what happens when you unplug the USB hub. The options for the mirror display are gone because they're not needed anymore. So yeah, now it's doing this flickering here. So there might be some problem sometimes when it's doing this a little bit there. I don't know what's with that. Yeah, it's not ideal, but if you have a keyboard and mouse, or even if you have the Magic Keyboard, it's a great way to have a docking station. So you can plug in your iPad to this hub, and in this hub you can even have a full-size keyboard and a mouse like that. If it works, I didn't try it yet, but it should work. So I plug in again the USB hub and I get the options again there. That's it. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you, and I hope this flickering will go away soon. Thanks for watching.